Have you ever looked at a huge mountain range or the deep, deep ocean and just wondered, how did that get there? Or why do things like earthquakes and volcanoes even happen? Well, the answer is pretty incredible. It all has to do with a giant jigsaw puzzle, the size of a planet that's moving right under our feet. So let's piece together this amazing story of what we call plate tectonics.
Okay, this might sound a little crazy, but it's totally true. The ground you're on, right now, is moving. The continents, the floor of the ocean, it's all constantly drifting across the planet. Now, it's happening super slowly, about as fast as your fingernails grow. But when you think about that happening over millions of years, that tiny movement can completely change the face of the world.
So how is that even possible? Well, it's because the Earth's surface isn't one solid shell. A better way to think about it is like a cracked eggshell. It's broken up into these massive interlocking pieces, and we call those pieces tectonic plates. They're all floating and shifting around, like giant rocky puzzle pieces rearranging themselves on the planet's surface.
So what exactly are these giant puzzle pieces? I mean, to really get how entire continents can just move, we have to understand what these plates are, what they're made of, and why they're not all the same.
Okay, so a tectonic plate is basically a huge, massive slab of solid rock. It's the Earth's crust, the part we live on, and the very top part of the layer just beneath it, all sort of fused together. There are 7 really big ones, like the Pacific Plate, which is mostly under the Pacific Ocean, and then a bunch of smaller ones. And these things are so big they can carry entire continents or huge stretches of ocean floor, or sometimes a little of both.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Not all plates are created equal. We've got 2 main kinds. You've got your continental plates, which, you guessed it, carry the continents. They're super thick, but for their size, they're actually pretty light. Think of a giant block of styrofoam. Then you have the oceanic plates, which make up the ocean floor. They're thinner, but they are way heavier and denser, more like a solid slab of rock. And that difference is so important. It's why the lighter continents float high and dry above the ocean.
But wait a minute. If these plates are gigantic slabs of rock with whole continents riding on top of them, how in the world do they move? The answer isn't on the surface. We have to go deep inside the planet, where there's this incredible engine that's always running. The secret is in this layer right underneath the plates. It's called the asthenosphere, and it's basically a zone of super hot, gooey rock. It's not totally liquid like water, but it's soft and plasticky enough that it can flow really slowly, kind of like thick honey or hot tar. So the hard, rigid plates are pretty much just floating on top of this soft, flowing layer.
You know what? Here's a perfect way to picture it. Imagine the plates are like giant ice cubes floating in a huge glass of water. The ice cubes are the hard plates, and the water is that soft, gooey asthenosphere. The ice cubes are just being carried along by the slow currents moving around in the water beneath them. It's the same idea, just with rock.
So what makes those currents? It's a process called convection. You've seen it if you've ever boiled a pot of water. The hot water at the bottom gets less dense, so it rises. When it hits the top, it cools down, gets denser, and sinks again. Well, the same thing is happening inside the Earth, but with hot rock. This slow, circular motion creates something called convection currents, and they act like a giant planetary conveyor belt dragging the plates on the surface along for the ride. This is the engine that moves our world.
All right, now we get to the really action-packed part. When you have these enormous puzzle pieces getting pushed and pulled all over the planet, they're eventually going to run into each other, right? And these places where they meet, these boundaries, that's where the most dramatic stuff on Earth happens.
First up, let's talk about convergent boundaries. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's what happens when 2 plates are on a collision course, moving straight towards each other. It's basically a super slow-motion car crash that plays out over millions of years.
So what happens when they hit? They don't just stop. Remember how oceanic plates are heavier and denser? Well, when an oceanic plate crashes into a lighter continental plate, the heavier oceanic plate gets forced down, sliding underneath it. This whole process of one plate diving under another is called subduction, and it's responsible for some of the biggest and baddest features on our planet.
The results of these collisions are just huge. When 2 light continental plates crash, neither one wants to sink, so they have nowhere to go but up. They crumple and buckle, creating massive mountain ranges like the Himalayas. But when a heavy oceanic plate subducts under another plate, it drags the edge of the top plate down with it, forming these incredibly deep ocean trenches, like the Mariana Trench. And as that sinking plate goes deeper, it melts, and that molten rock can rise to the surface and create some seriously powerful volcanoes. Okay, next up we've got the total opposite, divergent boundaries. This is where that conveyor belt in the mantle is pulling two plates in opposite directions. It's literally ripping the Earth's crust apart.
So as these plates pull away from each other, this huge gap or rift opens up down the middle. But that gap doesn't stay empty. Hot molten rock, magma from that gooey layer below comes rushing up to fill the space. And as that magma cools and hardens, it creates brand new crust.
This is literally where the Earth makes new land. It's incredible. Most of this happens deep under the ocean, creating these enormous undersea mountain ranges like the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. But sometimes it happens on land, forming giant valleys like the East African Rift, which might actually split the continent in two someday.
All right, our third and final type of boundary is a transform boundary. In this case, the plates aren't crashing together and they're not pulling apart. Instead, they're just grinding past one another sideways. No new land is made and none is destroyed.
The textbook analogy here is just perfect. The edges of these real rock plates aren't nice and smooth, they're super jagged and rough. So as they try to slide past each other, they get caught and they lock together. But the conveyor belt underneath keeps trying to move them, so this immense pressure starts to build up where they're stuck. And eventually, that pressure gets to be too much. The rocks break, and all that stored up energy is released in one sudden, violent jerk.
And that sudden release of energy, that's what we feel as an earthquake. These transform boundaries are basically earthquake factories. They're responsible for some of the most famous and dangerous fault lines in the world, like the San Andreas Fault running through California. It's a constant reminder of these incredible forces at work.
So we know what the plates are, we know how they move, and we know what happens when they meet. But what does all this constant motion mean when you look at the really big picture of Earth's history? Well, it means the world map we see today is just a temporary snapshot.
If we could rewind time by about 250 million years, the map would look totally different. All the continents we know today were actually smushed together into one giant supercontinent that scientists call Pangaea. A guy named Alfred Wegener was actually the first one to really figure this out. He just looked at a map and noticed that the coastlines of places like South America and Africa looked like they could fit together, like puzzle pieces. And he was right. Over millions of years, plate tectonics broke Pangaea apart, and the continents have been drifting to where they are today ever since.
Okay, that was a whirlwind tour of our incredibly active planet. So let's just take a second and recap the whole story. Think of this as your new Earth science toolkit, the 5 biggest things you need to remember.
Let's lock it in. First, the big one. Earth's surface is not solid. It's made of giant moving tectonic plates. Second, how do they move? They float on that hot, gooey layer called the asthenosphere. Third, what makes them move? That's the engine, those powerful convection currents in the mantle acting like a conveyor belt. Fourth, this is where the action is, where the plates meet. At their boundaries, you get all the big stuff: mountains, volcanoes, and earthquakes. And finally, remember that this has been going on for a very long time. The continents used to be one big piece called Pangaea, and guess what? They are still moving today.
And that leaves us with one last kind of mind-blowing thought. The world map you see in school, it's just one frame in a really long movie. The continents are still moving right now. The Atlantic Ocean is getting wider, Australia is drifting north. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What do you think our planet's giant jigsaw puzzle is going to look like 50 million years from now?